Alright, let's look at our next graphing problem. Same thing. We're going to start by looking at it and say, is it increasing or decreasing? Since this is a positive leading coefficient, we know that it is going up, so it's increasing. Now let's look at the number of turns. And so the number of turns is determined by the highest degree. And so it's 4 minus 1. And so that means at most we're going to have 3 turns. Let's look at the y-intercept. The y-intercept, the constant at the end, that negative 18. So we have negative 18. And so now over here for our graph, I can't put negative 18 on this unless I count by a different number. So I'm actually going to count by 2's. So then down here would be negative 18. And now let's see if we can identify the real zeros. And so we have 2x to the fourth minus 16x squared minus 18 equals 0. This time I am going to divide, take out the GCF, so I'm just going to divide everything by 2. And that gives me x to the fourth minus 8x squared minus 9 equals 0. And since it's a trinomial, we're going to try to just factor it. And so now look at the first term. And so right now x times x is x squared, and I need an x to the fourth. So if we do x squared times x squared, that'll give us the x to the fourth. Now we look at the negative 9. So we know we're going to have one positive and one negative. So what numbers are going to multiply to 9 but add to 8? And that's going to be 9 and 1. And since my middle term is negative, I know that the negative is going to go with the 9. So I can't do anything here. But over here, this is difference of squares, so this becomes x plus 3, x minus 3 equals 0. This is still x squared plus 1. And so the question says identify the number of real zeros. If I take this and make this 0 and I solve it, I'm going to get x squared equals negative 1, and I square root both sides, I get x equals plus or minus 1i. And so it's not a real 0. I won't be able to graph that over here. These two I'll be able to solve, and so x here would be negative 3 and positive 3. Now even though I counted by 2's here, I'm going to count by 1's on the x-axis, so I'm going to graph those here. So we have the 3, negative 3. And so think about what a degree 4 function is going to look like. As we started, remember, degree 4 is going to go up as we go to negative infinity. It's going to go up as we go to positive infinity. So it's going to do something like that. If you want, you could go onto the Desmos.com and graph it and just to see what it really looks like. But you know, it looks something like that.